Hey YouTube, I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to share some information that I feel is important for people that are thinking about going to the Brandywine Festival up in Kentucky, the Hobbit LARP. My wife and I went to the original one that happened here this last October, and there were a lot of problems. So first of all, we got 2 tickets and we rented a tent. And when we did that, when we got out there on the setup day, because when you rent the tent, you get to be there on the early setup day, the tent wasn't there. The tent was not delivered for some reason. You know, they had a lot of problems getting it. So that forced us to get a hotel room. So if you're renting a tent, be prepared for that possibility. The hotel did turn out to be a good thing overall, but it was extra cost. Then we did get the tent, and that was fine. The tent was okay. The problem is, for as much as these tickets cost, you would think that they'd spend a lot of money, or at least some of the money, making, you know, real good, nice Hobbit style decorations. That didn't happen. I mean, the only thing that was really nice there was the natural wooded area itself was beautiful, but the decorations were kind of meh, to say the least. You know, we've been to a lot of like Renaissance festivals and stuff like that. We thought they'd have something a little bit more Hobbit inspired, but something to that level. No, they didn't. Also, they have very little to no accommodations for handicap. My wife and I stayed in the out of game area, and there's a little parking lot right by there, which is kind of like the what would be considered a good handicap parking area. I had to fight every time to be able to park there, because they kept trying to keep people from parking there, when it's like, when you have limited walking abilities, you want to be able to not waste all your time walking from the back of a parking lot just to get to the area. So that was a fight every day. It's pretty annoying. Also, if you are in the out of game area, everything goes through Discord, which in theory would be fine, except for the fact that in that area, because of where it's at, where it's located, cell service is very lacking. I think if you have Verizon, you might be okay, but I know a lot of people with, such as myself, I had T-Mobile, and then some other people had AT&T. You know, the signal was just garbage. So they had no real communication to things. So if you were in the out of game area, you missed out on a lot, and we missed out on a lot because we had to keep walking to the information tent to try to get info. And you're going to hear the phrase "I don't know" a whole lot. I mean, hopefully with this next one that they think they're doing, maybe it'll be better, but for this one, it was nothing but "I don't know this, I don't know that." And then things didn't start on time, things got canceled. Most of the things that my wife wanted to do, she either missed because it ended up at a different time and nobody was, you know, letting us know, or just flat out got canceled. So we ended up trying to leave a day early, which also caused problems because she was just having an awful time. And when we were leaving, because if you rent the tent, part of the thing says you could drive your car up to your tent to load up, or, you know, and load up the tent, and you can drive your car up to pack up the tent. So I drove my car up. It's a big area. There's no danger of hurting anyone there. But one of the staff members was being very rude about it, and she was pretty much rude to me the whole time, to the point that when I complained, and here's the key, when I complained, she did say that, "Oh, we'll refund your tickets." And I'm like, okay, normally I don't like to do that, you know, but the lackluster decorations, the fact that my wife missed the majority of the events she wanted to do because of their bad communication, I was like, okay, sounds good. So we went along that path, opened up a ticket on the Discord, started communicating with them, and they wanted me to share all of my grievances, so I shared all of my grievances, and they said, okay, we're going to issue you a refund. Well, that was in October, shortly after the event. As of today is December 18th, and there has been no refund. They keep giving excuses. They keep saying that they're going to do stuff that they're not going to do. And now they've gotten to the point where they've just simply stopped replying. So if you are physically well enough and skilled enough to be in the in-game only area and live in those tents and do all the stuff, the kind of roughing it that you would have to do to like truly try to live the Hobbit lifestyle, I think there could be some benefit there, because I do know there were people that really enjoyed it, but a lot of people such as myself that were in the out-of-game area really felt screwed by the event. A lot of things didn't happen the way that it was supposed to, and they have even gotten to the point where on their Discord channel they had a constructive feedback channel where a lot of people were making similar complaints to the complaints that I'm making. Well, they just obliterated that channel just so that nobody can see that. So that's gone now. I have, if anyone sees this video, because I have no followers, which is fine because I'm not a YouTuber. If anyone sees this video, I'm sure they're going to kick me out of the Discord, and that's totally fine. I'm only still in it because that's where I've been communicating with them to try to work out this situation with the refund that they promised. I didn't even ask for it. They promised it, and they are not even doing it. So their customer service is lacking. For what you pay for the tickets, that's lacking. And I just feel that, you know, the out-of-game area had these pits dug for community fires, which they never did the community fires. The only fires that were like in my area were the ones that I did, because I have a fire pit. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. So I had a fire pit out there, and I was running fires, and that was the only good part of the whole experience, because I was the one running fires in my area. You know, I did meet a lot of people, because people came up, wanted to cook their food on my fire pit, wanted to do stuff like that. So we did meet a lot of good people, but the people made the event good. Like, the only decorations I saw that I felt were really like hobbity were ones that, like, there was a gentleman who had like a yurt. I guess his company makes them, and he had a very Hobbit style yurt. I thought that was amazing. But other than that, I really didn't see anything that was like, wow, I'm glad I spent over $400 for a ticket per person, plus however much. I think it was like $1,400 for 2 tickets and the tent. And I would have done better just buying season passes to this year's Renaissance Festival. That would have been money much better spent. So I don't like doing these types of things. I don't like bashing people. It's really not cool. But I really feel that people need to know that these guys are not on the level. That maybe they will be at some point, but they're not now. So buyer beware. If you buy they're already trying to sell tickets for the next year's event right after they had this one, and they had such crappy feedback on their constructive feedback forum on the Discord. They got rid of it, because rather than try to learn and try to make things better, apparently they're just ignoring the people that had problems, because there are a lot of influencers out there that showed up and made videos about what a great time they had. And you know what? If you had a great time, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a great time. But not everybody did. And I think that not acknowledging the people that didn't have a good time is not only piss poor customer service, it's just wrong. So, you know, do what you like. If you want to go to the Brandywine Festival, I hope you do and you have a good time. But if you have any kind of disability or any kind of accommodations you're hoping that they can make, just understand that they can't. So maybe that'll change, but it was completely lackluster this first year. And, you know, I was hoping, you know, they'd give the refund like they promised, and maybe in a couple years, because some of the people that we met were planning on trying it again. And I was hoping, well, you know, maybe if they say, hey, they fixed the stuff, we would try it again. But they're not trying to, you know, they're not trying to fix anything. So whatever. So it sucks, and it is what it is. And I just want people to understand what the real is before they get there. So I hope everyone has a good day, and sorry this is kind of a negative Nancy video. I don't like doing this kind of negative stuff, so but it is what it is. Take care.